She's the queen of surprise. Albums drop in silence, visuals erupt unannounced, and when Beyoncé moves, the world halts. But on the humid evening of July 8, 2025, someone else moved first. Inside a dim parking deck off Atlanta's Krog Street, a routine dinner break turned into a crisis. Her choreographer, Christopher Grant, stepped away from a black rental Jeep, and within an hour, the vehicle's window was smashed. 2 suitcases vanished. Inside those bags, 5 thumb drives containing unreleased music, stage visuals, set list, and confidential performance files tied to Beyoncé's groundbreaking Cowboy Carter tour. This wasn't just a robbery, it was a direct breach of one of the most secure and tightly choreographed music campaigns in modern pop history. The music world spun into panic, and the question still lingers. What happens if the stolen music leaks? It all started innocently enough. Beyoncé's choreographer, Christopher Grant, and dancer DeAndre Blue had arrived in Atlanta ahead of schedule. Their task? Prepare for Beyoncé's 4-show residency at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, a key stop on the Cowboy Carter tour. They parked their 2024 black Jeep Wagoneer at the trendy Krog Street Market, a popular spot known for upscale Southern eats and a laid-back vibe. At 8:09 p.m., they locked the car and went inside to eat. By 9 p.m., they returned to a nightmare. The trunk window was smashed. The gear was gone. Among the items taken, 2 MacBook laptops, a pair of AirPods Max headphones, designer sunglasses, high-end clothes, and most notably, 5 USB thumb drives holding Beyoncé's unreleased music, watermarked and encrypted, but vulnerable outside the vault. In the 911 call, Grant's voice was fraught with tension. "It's really information. I work with someone of high status and I really need my computer." He didn't name Beyoncé, but he didn't need to. The urgency said it all. So what made this theft more than just a high-profile car break-in? Let's look at what was taken. 5 USB drives. Watermarked and encrypted, these likely contain never-before-heard tracks from Beyoncé, possibly demos, B-sides, alternate versions, or unreleased collaborations tied to the Cowboy Carter era. Tour visuals and choreography files. These drives also held plans for Beyoncé's live show. Think lighting cues, stage transitions, and unreleased footage. Set list, not just for Atlanta, but possibly for the entire tour, including the Las Vegas finale. 2 MacBooks and AirPods Max. Valuable, yes, but more importantly, they were digitally traceable. Luxury items, designer outfits, sunglasses, personal effects, worth thousands, but not the real prize. The thumb drives were irreplaceable. Beyoncé is notorious for locking down her creative process. When something leaks, it's never accidental. These files could hold the entire blueprint for her next chapter. If leaked, the consequences wouldn't just be emotional or creative, they'd be financial, cultural, and strategic. But the thieves didn't go unnoticed. Thanks to Apple's built-in Find My feature, Grant was able to track the movement of the stolen electronics in real time. One of the devices pinged in Atlanta's Zone 5, leading police to a 2025 red Hyundai Elantra driving through the city. The officers responded immediately, stopping vehicles that matched the signal's movement. According to the report, the AirPods pinged from several cars, suggesting the stolen items may have already been split up or changing hands. At the scene, police collected surveillance footage from the garage, which confirmed movement near the vehicle. They also lifted light fingerprints, suggesting the suspects may have worn gloves. Despite no arrests as this writing, police confirmed they've obtained an arrest warrant. The suspect remains unnamed, but the digital trail is strong, and time may work in Beyoncé's favor if the files haven't already been copied or sold. For Beyoncé, silence isn't just golden, it's the strategy. In 2013, she redefined the industry with a surprise album drop. No promo, no warning, just an iTunes notification and a cultural earthquake. She did it again in 2016 with Lemonade, and again with Everything Is Love and Homecoming. It's a model that depends on tight control and absolute secrecy. A leak now could destroy the momentum of Cowboy Carter's carefully staggered visual and audio releases, undermine streaming rollouts and promotional timing for deluxe editions or sequels, damage chart performance, which depends on synchronized global launches, violate her artistic control, releasing raw or unfinished versions never meant to be public. Beyoncé's brand is about mystery, spectacle, and perfection. The stolen files strike at the very heart of that formula. Unsurprisingly, the beehive swarmed. Across social platforms like Reddit, X, formerly Twitter, and TikTok, fans speculated, argued, and theorized. Some blamed carelessness. Why leave all that in the car? You're just asking for it. Others suspected an inside job, pointing out that some tour-related files had already leaked days earlier. Some fans even floated wild theories. What if this is part of the plan? Act 3 might be a surprise drop that she's been setting up. But not all reactions were cynical. One comment summed up the hopeful side of the hive. They're password protected. Beyoncé wouldn't let something like this leak that easily. It's a mix of paranoia, loyalty, and wishful thinking. But one thing is clear, the fandom is watching every move. This incident didn't happen in a vacuum. Atlanta has been battling a surge in vehicle break-ins, with over 7,000 cases reported in 2024 and more than 3,100 in 2025 so far. The week before Beyoncé's Atlanta shows, over 100 car break-ins in the same district. The Krog Street Market, despite its popularity, is a known hot zone for smash and grabs. The Atlanta Police Department has even launched the Clean Car campaign, urging residents and visitors to not leave valuables visible in cars. For Grant and Blue, a simple oversight, just 1 hour away from the vehicle, proved catastrophic. The Atlanta Police Department's larceny from auto unit has thrown its full weight behind the case. Here's what they've got so far. Find My tracking data placing the stolen devices in a specific zone, surveillance footage from the parking deck, light fingerprints, possibly viable with further lab work, vehicle descriptions, and a possible red Hyundai linked to the movement of the gear. Police haven't named the suspect yet, but investigators say they're moving fast. The goal? Stop the files from being leaked before Beyoncé's final 2 shows in Las Vegas, which could serve as a dramatic conclusion or a recovery moment depending on what happens next. Theft of celebrity property isn't new, but theft of unreleased music from a global icon at the peak of a tour, that's next level. Already we're hearing whispers in the music world. Artists are beefing up digital protections for demos and visuals. Tour managers are banning solo data couriers. Backup files are being stored in off-grid servers or physically guarded. Some teams are hiring security for hard drives, not just for people. This is Beyoncé. If her files aren't safe, whose are? So will it leak? Right now, nothing has surfaced. Not on SoundCloud, not on underground forums, not even a 10-second TikTok audio tease. But for those in the know, that doesn't mean the danger is over. Watermarked files can be traced, but once leaked, the damage is done. And fans, they're scouring the internet, analyzing every snippet for hints. Was that a new harmony in the Vegas set? Is she testing unreleased material in soundcheck? Until the Vegas shows wrap, the clock keeps ticking, and so does the suspense. Celebrity content theft has happened before, but theft of unreleased music from a global icon at the peak of a tour, that's next level. Already we're hearing whispers in the music world. Artists are beefing up digital protections for demos and visuals. Tour managers are banning solo data couriers. Backup files are being stored in off-grid servers or physically guarded. Some teams are hiring security for hard drives, not just for people. This is Beyoncé. If her files aren't safe, whose are? It's easy to get caught up in the drama, but remember, this hit 2 real people. Christopher Grant and DeAndre Blue weren't reckless. They were tired, hungry, human. They parked in a secure garage, took a break, trusted the system, and in that hour, they lost the kind of material some artists spend years perfecting. Online, while some mocked the situation, others offered empathy. They probably feel awful. It could have happened to anyone. And it's true, we've all stepped away from our gear, trusting locks and cameras. For Beyoncé's team, that trust was shattered. So how will the Queen respond? Beyoncé rarely addresses situations like this publicly. Her silence is often part of her power. But this time, fans expect something. Here's what might happen. A statement at her Vegas shows, a surprise visual drop to retake the narrative, an extended Cowboy Carter Deluxe edition that includes and secures what was at risk. Behind the scenes, a complete security overhaul. Whatever she does, you can bet on this. It will be intentional, powerful, and on her terms. Let's recap. On July 8, 5 USB drives filled with unreleased Beyoncé content were stolen in Atlanta. Tech tracking helped identify a suspect, but no arrest yet, no leaks yet. Police are actively pursuing leads. The music industry is bracing for change. And Beyoncé, She's silent, for now. But as Vegas nears, so does a decision. Will she respond with music, a statement, or nothing at all? What would you do if your most guarded creative work vanished in the night? What do you think? Should Beyoncé say something publicly? Will the stolen music eventually leak? And what steps should touring artists take to protect their digital legacies? Drop your predictions in the comments. Like, subscribe, and tap the bell for updates. Because when Beyoncé moves, the world watches.